This is a video about the repairs and the modifications we've made in the first year of owning our Itasca Spirit 25B. This carport we've had when we had our old motorhome. I just thought I'd show it to you. It will help preserve the integrity of the structure of the RV. It's slightly short because we had it for our 22-foot motorhome, and the 25B is 26 feet 2 inches, and the carport is 26 feet long. After our daughter backed up and ran into the carport and damaged it, we had it repaired, and then I installed these 1/4 inch thick barriers, which I call Sharon stops. Anyway, so maybe that'll help if it ever gets hit again. I might add a couple of more panels so the sun doesn't hit the decals on this side. This shows our Safety Plus steering stabilizer. We added this steering stabilizer. What that does is if you ever get a front end blowout, it helps you safely get off the road. The steering stabilizer always tries to get your steering going straight forward, and of course it dampens the steering too, but it also helps in mild to moderate crosswinds. One of the repairs we've made, we've already gotten 2 front end alignments in the 30,000 miles we've driven the RV. The motorhome didn't come with a spare tire, and while we were getting some warranty work, we had the dealer order the brackets, the hold down brackets that hold the spare tire down, and we bought a tire at Costco, and we had bought a wheel at 6 Robles, but later on when we got one of the front end alignments, we found the wheel didn't work because it was rubbing the front brake caliper. So we took it back to 6 Robles and we bought a used wheel right there at the alignment shop in Billings, Montana. We made 3 trips from or to Alaska from Georgia, so we thought we should have a spare tire, even though we have roadside assistance. We had the tank fill, check valve fill valve, fresh water fill valve. It was leaking when we got the RV, and the dealer replaced that under warranty. This the check valve leaked on the city fill valve fill point, and the reason it happened was when I was discharging a little bit of antifreeze, there was pressure in the lines, and it blew out the check valve, and I replaced this valve myself. One of the mods we added was these mud dauber prevention screens on the furnace, fresh air intake and fresh air exhaust to keep the mud daubers from building mud nests inside the furnace. One of the warranty issues we had when we got the RV, the ladder was kind of loose up near the top, and the dealer in Anchorage, Alaska took care of that. These are the coach batteries that are reside underneath our entry steps. And the one on the left is a Costco battery, and the one on the right is a Napa. Anyway, the reason I got a Costco battery was that the Napa battery leaked acid very badly, and it got all over the compartment in there, and it might have been under warranty, but we were getting ready to go for a trip, and it seemed like Camping World was going to take too long doing anything about it. So I just bought a Costco battery and replaced it. And it looks like that other Napa battery might be starting to leak acid now. Anyway, they say you should change these batteries as a pair because a new one can run an old one down. But we did okay on our last trip as far as the batteries holding a charge. But it looks like maybe soon I may have to replace that Napa battery on the right. To safeguard the electronics and the electrical components and all the wiring from power faults, I added a Progressive Industries hardwired surge protector power management unit, and it's right here in the shore cord cabinet, so it can be it's out of the weather and it can be locked up, which is nice, I think. And it protects against high voltage, low voltage, open grounds, open neutral, surges, reverse polarity. Anyway, it's caught a couple of power faults at RV parks already since I put it in. Anyway, it's a little crooked because the conduit was short, and sometime I need to see if I can correct that, I guess. It's worked out pretty well since we put it in there. On all my things I've added, I'll put model numbers in the above the comment section, and but probably not links. So you can just use Google to get your best price. This is our 4 kW Cummins onan generator, and we did have some warranty work done after we came down from Alaska with the RV at Forest City at the Winnebago factory. They replaced the carburetor in the generator. The generator was surging real bad, and sometimes it wouldn't start. We have been changing the oil every 50 hours, and well, that was for the break-in, and we might continue doing that. We've changed the oil twice. It has 150 hours on it, and we're adding seafoam gas stabilizer in it about once per month, and that it may help neutralize the bad effects of ethanol in the gas, which can cause condensation and corrosion. And so far at 150 hours, the generator has been doing good since we got the warranty work. The seafoam we add right to the gas tank. I put, let's see, it's 3 16-ounce containers of seafoam about once per month. This is the water heater compartment. One thing we've been having to do once a year when we winterize is change out the zinc anode rod, which the zinc anode rod sacrifices itself to corrosion to help preserve the water heater tank from corroding. Anyway, that hole there is where it goes, and it also serves as a drain plug when you drain the water heater. And I'll pop up a couple of pictures of before and after what the zinc anode rod looks like, old one versus a new one. Coming down from Alaska, the last time there was a couple of taillight bulbs out, and when I changed them I noticed there was some moisture and dirt behind the taillight lens, and I don't think the factory gaskets are really good on these taillights, and I might do something different here with the taillights before long. This is kind of a mod, I guess. We noticed that when we got the floor, the motorhome, the factory vinyl floor is dull. It doesn't have any shine, and we noticed the embedded dirt was getting hard to clean with a Swifter, so I cleaned it all up good with a stiff brush and warm water and Ajax, and I use a product called Quick Shine, and I put 3 coats of Quick Shine wax, which we got at Walmart. I had to wait an hour between coats for drying, and I did this just recently, and I'm hoping that'll help the floor stay maintained better and easier to clean with a Swifter and just broom, and the dirt doesn't get so embedded. So we'll see how that goes, and you can see a little bit of the shine if I move up close. The radio also serves as a camera monitor. We've got a rear camera and then side cameras on the mirror, on the side mirrors. So we got side cameras, and the whole radio monitor had gone out, and in Forest City, Iowa, we had a new Pioneer radio monitor installed. It's 1 generation newer. The first generation one was known to have a problem of failure after 6 months, according to what I read on some forums. And also the switch, the box that's the switch, has the switches that changes the camera view from rear to side. It had gone out, and at Forest City, Iowa, they replaced that as well. And then recently the satellite radio had stopped working on our last trip, and I replaced, well, we were getting a fault. It said check antenna for the satellite radio, and I replaced the satellite radio antenna myself, and I just bought it on Amazon.com. It already had a 20-foot wire on it, cable wire, and I installed it back on the roof where it was, and I'll pop up a picture of that, and we'll make a tour of the roof soon, and I'll show you some things I've done up there. And this is one of the side cameras, and they were both fogging up on the inside, and in Anchorage at the dealer they replaced both cameras on the mirrors, and I still get an occasional fogging, but it's a lot better than it was. Above the radio and to the left is our ScanGuage 2, which I installed, and it monitors a variety of different things, engine conditions, and it can also be used to find engine faults and reset, check service engine faults. And one of the things it does is it monitors real-time and average gas mileage, and that's the primary reason I got it. According to ScanGuage 2's advertisement, you can save up to 30% fuel mileage by allowing the ScanGuage 2 to train you to drive the RV more efficiently. We bought the ScanGuage 2 at AutoZone, and it connects into the OBDII reader. Can't see it real well because that's in shadow. It connects to the OBDII where most computers connect on a car, and I have it set for miles per hour, and then I have it set for incoming temperature into the engine, which they say is 2 degrees warmer than outside air. And then I have it set for real time and average miles per gallon. And it takes a couple of fuel tanks to train it. You have to, after you drive it, the first 2 fuel tanks, you have to input into it how many miles you've driven and how many gallons of gas you bought, and then it becomes real accurate. Anyway, I wouldn't say that I'm getting 30% more fuel mileage, because I was driving pretty conservatively to begin with, I think, and not real heavy on the brake pedal or gas, but it has helped some. And the other thing is, you can get a mount for it. If you don't want your if you want your wires concealed, you can get a mount for the mirror and run the wires under the dash and up to the headliner. And so I apologize for all my ums and ahs. I'm just an RV owner. I'm not a professional speaker. And this mirror here, I bought at Camping World. I removed the Ford factory mirror and installed this wide angle mirror so I can see people in the back. I can see when they get seated before I take off. And it attaches with this big suction cup, and I've really enjoyed this wide angle mirror, being able to see back there. We didn't need the factory Ford mirror anyway, because the back of the RV, it doesn't have a window to use a standard mirror for anyway. I thought I'd show you the floor plan in case you didn't see my initial video tour that I put a video on. And it's got a couch, a dinette that makes into a bed, a quarter bed, and then over here it has the over the cab bed up here. I installed a Weboost cellular booster to get a stronger cell signal, so we could use internet in more places where there's a weaker signal. And I think this one's called 4GX Drive RV Weboost cellular booster. And I added a switch, so I don't have to keep disconnecting the 12-volt power supply from the Weboost to turn it on and off. And down here is the indoor antenna, and when I go on the roof in a few minutes, I'll show you the outdoor antenna. And the Weboost has performed very well. There's been some places where reviews said there was no Verizon signal, or and we get there and there's 1x strength on our phone, and the Weboost has kicked it up to 3 bars of 4G in a couple different places, like in Palo Duro Canyon and near Amarillo, Texas, and a couple of other remote places. Next to the Weboost indoor antenna is an the white thing is an indoor-outdoor thermometer, and they're all residing on that cup holder I installed. The Itasca didn't come with any cup holders here in the dinette, and I installed a couple of cup holders that fold up, and they're used for marine or camping. They fold up like that, and they don't seem to interfere with making this dinette into a bed. I made one small repair on this pleated blinds. The pleated blinds, after a while, it wouldn't go up and stay up, and all I had to do was take down that valance and then tension one of the lines, and then it worked fine. I read about how to fix it on the internet. If you wanted to see how we organize the cabinets and stuff, you can check our first video tour on the Itasca 25B, Spirit 25B. But I thought I'd show you these stretch nets that I put up in a couple places. They're made by a company called OBDII from Indiana, and I bought them online. And there's one there. They're good for open shelves so things don't fall out. And there's one, and then we'll go in the bathroom. And I use them on these three shelves too. And screws are mounted on the back, and I use a close quarters right angle drill attachment to be able to get the screws in the back, and they've held up pretty well. While we're in the bathroom, I thought I'd show you the MaxxAir vent fan we installed, and we just installed that fairly recently. And I have a remote that will start and stop it and make the lid go up. And it's 10 speed, and I'll put the model number below the comment section. We didn't get the deluxe one, which basically does the same thing. The deluxe one comes with a built-in rain cover, and because of our sunlight in the shower, that one wouldn't work. It goes too far back. But we got a MaxxAir 2 rain cover and replaced our MaxxAir 1 rain cover, or vent cover, because it has more vents for airflow. And I'll show you that when we go on the roof. This is a 10 speed fan, and it can be reversed also and used as a ceiling fan. We found a single fan in the bathroom like this will pull in air from all the windows, but I might add another fan towards the cab over so I can have one exhaust while the other one intakes, and really get a strong air through here. To get more counter space, I bought a piece of king starboard polymer on eBay and some locking shelf hinges on Amazon, and I added this this extension here for the bathroom counter because there's not a lot of counter space. I used a piece of cardboard and drew kind of a template from the existing counter to make my curves, and I use a jigsaw to cut the king starboard polymer, and I put a piece of plywood inside the cabinet for a backing because the cabinet wood is pretty thin. Anyway, it's worked out pretty good with no problems, and I use it all the time. I put up a his and hers drinking cup holder that came with glasses. I got that on Amazon.com. And I bought a spare glass in case one breaks sometimes. To get more shower pressure, I installed an Oxygenics shower head, and it does have a lot more pressure and uses the same amount of water. It's worked pretty well, but I noticed that sometimes the shower head will droop down on its own, which is kind of an annoyance, and there didn't seem to be any way to tension the bracket to have it have more tension. Also, we had a crack right here, and I've replaced the hose already on the original Oxygenics shower head installation. Other than that, it's been really good. I installed some little mini quilts that we got up in Alaska to make the RV look a little bit more homey. Most of them are just wildlife ones. Anyway, put them up with Scotch 3M mounting tape, and I had removed some of them from the old RV, and the adhesive from the mounting tape comes off pretty easy with a product called Dissolve It. As we travel around, I've been buying refrigerator magnets from the various states and places we go to. The refrigerator's not metal, so I use the Scotch 3M mounting, double-sided mounting tape on it too. I bought a little shelf off Amazon with some guards there that I was going to use in the bathroom, but I decided to use it as a spice rack. What we've used to install some of these items is extra small anchor point anchors, which I got at Ace Hardware. I tried the ones from Walmart and they all failed, so I got them all at Ace Hardware. And this is a paper towel holder I bought. I have to move the spices a little bit to get the paper towel on there, but it ratchets and it flexes some. Since it ratchets, you can pull the paper towel off with one hand. Well, that's not a clean pull, but the sink cover is also made of King Starboard polymer. I didn't make that. I bought it just the way it is there. I measured the sink and I bought it on eBay. And it's not a perfect fit, but it fits well enough for us and does the job for extra counter space, because the Mini Woody 25B and the Itasca Spirit 25B, there's not a lot of counter space on the kitchen or the bathroom. The DVD player came loose, and it was just installed with some wood screws, and I reinstalled it and went straight through the cabinet from the top with machine screws and nuts on the other side. Also, while we were down in Forest City, Iowa, getting warranty work, we had the foam cushioning replaced in our seats in our dinette. They had become badly indented, and the foam, the cushioning they took out was not very dense, and what they put in was a very dense cushioning foam, and we have had no further problem with that. Sometimes when I sleep on this corner bed, I wake up with hip pain. I've just ordered a 2.5-inch gel memory foam topper, which we're going to add to the on top of the mattress, and we'll see how that works. Over here, we keep this little bag on the doorknob to keep our Walmart bags and stuff, so that we take our dog out, have those ready to go to pick up behind her. The bathroom door, when we got the RV, it was dragging pretty hard on the door jamb. I took it off and I trimmed about the width of a skill saw blade on the hinge side, and then stained that side, and then since then it's been okay. I actually bought this RV in the summer of 2016. I'm calling it 1 year, first year repairs and mods, but we've actually owned it for a year and a half. I'll show you in the pictures, but we added a Camco winterization kit to make it easier to put antifreeze in the RV when we winterize. And when we were having warranty work done in Anchorage on the RV, I just had them add that. And then I took the suction hose to Alaska Rubber and had an extra 5 feet put on it, so we can put the jug of antifreeze on the floor instead of having to put it underneath. There's a recess here underneath the bed where you can access the plumbing equipment down there. Some people go through the outside storage and make a little door to do that too. This is the water heater compartment. One thing we've been having to do once a year when we winterize is change out the zinc anoid rod, which the zinc anoid rod sacrifices itself to corrosion to help preserve the water heater tank from corroding. Anyway, that hole there is where it goes, and it also serves as a drain plug when you drain the water heater. And I'll pop up a couple of pictures of before and after what the zinc anoid rod looks like, an old one versus a new one. I installed a shoe bag so we could put our shoes in there for around beaches, and we don't want to get sand all the way through the RV or if it's muddy outside. The bed's kind of high, so we added a stool so my wife could get in and out of it easier. And the stool comes in handy for getting into the cabinets and stuff. We mounted our Weboost and outdoor antenna on the ladder, and the cable, I fished it through the refrigerator vent so I wouldn't have to put any additional holes on the RV skin. I had to make one hole on the side of the vent trim only, and then one in the RV near a wire chase, which is in the back of a cabinet. During some bad crosswinds, and also while we were parked at a truck stop during a windstorm, was where it weakened. Our King Jack antenna broke right in two. While we were driving, it fell off and I had to replace the antenna. And it had left the mast and the wings flew off. And I installed this new King Jack antenna. The base is a little different, but it's supposed to be wind resistant. And I used butyl tape underneath and Dicor self-leveling sealant around the perimeter. This is the new satellite radio antenna I installed, the puck, and there's a steel plate underneath it. They have to be on something magnetic. And Hopefully it'll hold up okay. This is the new MaxxAir 2 vent cover I installed. You can see it has a lot of vents on it. Where we installed the MaxxAir 2 vent cover, I removed a MaxxAir 1 cover like this one, which doesn't have as much vent square inches. Well, I think this just about covers all of our first year mods and repairs on our Itasca Spirit 25B. If I missed something, I apologize, and I was going to do the repairs and the mods on separate videos, but I just thought I'd put it all up at once instead, even if it is a little bit long. So thanks for watching, and be safe on the road. Bye now.